All right, finally, Eric Holmes. A couple spoiler thoughts on Dolly. Is there anything else to spoil? I thought it was very cool though that within
So
yeah,
I guess the stuff to spoil would be the person that keeps whispering to her through the door, what that is,
yes.
and then the post-credit things. And I need help with both of those because kind of like what Bruce was saying in the mess. I mean, those listening to this probably don't know this, but Bruce said something like, you were asking about that, and Bruce was like, I don't know, I was just going with the horror stuff, and that's kind of where I was too. So like all the machinations of Dolly's family and the I don't know if it's a brother or dad or
Yeah, I
what
think
relationship they have. I think the person in that room is more than just someone Dolly grabbed and tied up. That's someone that knows Dolly.
right. Right. And I think Toby, because when I at that point of the movie, my screener link was messed up. I think Toby played by Ethan Suplee, he's the person in the room. There's another person in the room who's dead, by the way. There's a person
Oh,
in the
that
room.
is
Yeah,
Ethan
Ethan
Suplee
Suplee.
just doesn't look like Ethan Suplee anymore.
It's weird.
It's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So well, Ethan Suplee, his character is Toby. And Toby is
Yeah.
the one who is the voice behind the door. And he's trying to get Macy to get him a key. Macy gets him the key. The key unlocks his shackles. And as soon as Toby is freed, he takes Macy hostage with a shiv, with a little bit of a knife, and he threatens to kill her in front of Dolly. And Dolly and Toby eventually have that altercation, which leads to, well, it's interesting because Toby initially almost has the upper hand on Dolly, and he's about to kill Dolly, and then Macy saves his life, right? Doesn't Macy saves his life by
Macy
sticking?
saves Dolly's life.
Yeah, Macy saves Dolly's life by stabbing Toby in the back, I believe. And then Toby turns around to almost attack Macy. And then in turn, Dolly, I think she, I think
I forget how
Dolly
that played out. I think she was
puts the
trying to
hand
leave.
through,
Toby didn't want
puts
that happening. And then he turns around to threaten her, and then that's when Dolly like reaches through his chest and
chest.
pulls his heart out, basically.
Yeah. And then you see that
Looks
big,
in there, and then his body drops.
that's such a great shot. So I think Toby is a member of the family. I thought Toby was saying about had a line about the mother in the grave, their mother in the grave, and I thought he mentioned the word brother. So I'm assuming Toby is the brother of Dolly. I could be completely wrong. Please help us down below in the comments because neither me nor Bruce nor Eric did not go back and watch that section of the movie if Toby is the brother. I believe Toby is the brother of Dolly. All right. I don't
Probably.
know, however,
I
who
think
the
Toby's related to her in some fashion. But then the big question I had was the post credit thing because he says we found a
Toby.
woman in a doll mask,
Right.
and the
Right.
woman in the doll mask makes me think that perhaps Dolly didn't die, but caught someone else, put them there, put the doll mask on there, and Dolly's just off running off to wherever. That's I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's what I picked up, or like they were trying to
Well,
suggest.
that's a great alter. I like that for Dolly too. When they unmask
Yeah.
Dolly, it's another person. It's not Dolly herself. That I think that's a great theory. But we're already assuming they said they found someone like with that doll mask. We're assuming probably either that person is another person who's dead,
Yeah.
or doesn't matter because this in the sequel, Dolly will be alive anyway. And we're gonna have to see where Dolly's adventure
Yeah.
picks up. We're
But
assuming, yeah.
they don't specifically mention Macy though. That's why I was saying because like we see her get away. She's driving away, laughing, which is almost pretty much the exact same ending as Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then it just kind of does that, iris closed, fade to black sort of thing.
Right.
And then they do the credits, and then at the end, I could be wrong. I don't recall him mentioning her. And so when
Right.
they said a woman in a doll mask, I thought at some point she got caught before she fully got away and was
No, no. It's
okay.
Macy's. I'm assuming Macy left the scene of the crime.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the crime does not leave Macy because, like you said, the movie ends on the iris with
Yeah.
not on the iris is not on Macy. The iris is on the back of her car, meaning it's closing that chapter, but is it really closing? Because Macy, like you said, she's
Yeah.
laughing hysterically. Is the hysterical laugh one of relief, or is a part of Macy completely understandably broken from that experience, and she's laughing
It's
out of
just
hysteria?
yeah, well, kind of both, but it's also a
Yeah,
homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre because that's the exact ending of Texas Chainsaw
yeah.
Massacre. The only thing it was missing was Dolly with her shovel, like swinging it around in the sunset, or you know.
all all right, yeah. So I think those were
But
our
yeah,
main.
that post credit thing kind of I need to go back and watch that post credit again because I think I missed something that they were. I think regardless, they're suggesting that Dolly's gonna come back, but I think I missed
Yeah,
something
yeah.
there.
They said there's going to be, like you said, there's going to be a Dolly 2. So that's good when they mentioned that there's
Yeah,
going to be a Dolly 2. And then one of the other cops, I think one of the officers said that we found Toby, and Toby is the Ethan Suplee character. So they
yeah.
said, and then the person that they're talking to, the end credits, is obviously probably the head of that sheriff department, right? Because we don't see that the person's opening the door, and you see two lawmen and a third person. We don't know who that person is talking to the person behind the door about who they found,
I think at the
and
end of the day, though, it's just a great post credit scene because it's like, what does it mean? What does it
right.
all mean?
Because most of that song is just a song, and then when it goes to the final chapter of the song, if you listen to the lyrics, it talks about the movie, which is very
Yeah.
cool, and then it leads into
Oh,
the video
speaking of
credit scene.
music, that
Yeah.
metal band that the deputy was listening to when he came across
Yes.
the car, he was putting the ticket on the car. I
Yes.
I went back and looked that band up on YouTube. They got some bangers.
Oh, what's the
That was
name of the band? What?
I forget the name of the
Oh,
I forget
very
the
cool.
name. I got to go back and look, but I listened to it. Oh, what was it? It was like Janet Jackson's something something was the name of the song.
Mm.
I can't remember the name of the band, but
But it's
yeah,
uh,
it was like metalcore music. So if you're into that, then yeah,
yeah.
and so it was good stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't good stuff when that deputy died immediately. He was he was not a very quick reactor. He just immediately
Yeah,
died.
behind you. What? What? Behind you. Look, there's someone behind you gonna kill you. I don't know what you could possibly be talking.
Then, well, I guess it's a trope, but it's pretty interesting that Seann William Scott, he didn't die within 15 minutes, but the fact that,
Dude, I felt so bad for him. Because like, yeah, he gets a shovel like right in the mouth, and they're like, oh wow, they Drew Barrymore this from Scream, like starring Seann William Scott, and he's gonna die within the first 15 minutes or however long it was when he didn't
yeah,
die, but you thought he was dead, and she even thought he was dead, or she ran off, and then at some point he's like, oh, oh. I'm like, oh God, no. It was like Seven with a
yeah,
sloth. They think he's
yeah.
dead, and he starts coughing. It's like, oh God, no. And then he starts crawling with his jaw like
Oh,
dragging on
Ja,
the ground,
look
like
at
collecting leaves and stuff.
those
Oh my
effects,
God.
man.
When I found out he was alive and just watching him like just constantly crawling towards the house until the end of the movie, it was just like every time they cut to him, I was like, if you ever see me in that state, just kill me. Like that
Yes.
that is just so much pain and torture. And the idea of like your jaw just like hanging there by its skin only. Oh God.
Yeah, that is very,
And
very,
before that, he was also the one that got kneecap because before the jaw, he was digging out his kneecap with the shovel. I was like, God damn.
oh, it's
And
very,
then
very sick.
when I thought he was dead, I'm like, well, at least he doesn't have to deal with that anymore. Thank goodness. But then he started coughing and like woke back up. I was like, oh God, no, please no. But
All right,
yeah,
that is
Stifler
it
did
for
not deserve that.
he did not deserve it. All right, that is our spoiler discussion of this very, very, very gory but awesome movie, Dolly. And you're
Yeah.
gonna hear some more spoiler talk from Bruce Perky in three, two, one. Eric, before we go, I'm not. I'm still in the middle. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna stop recording this right now.
I do want to just mention really quickly. I know there's gonna be a couple spoilers in here, which I don't know. Do I really want to talk about spoilers in here? Yeah, I'll talk about spoilers just a little bit. But before I get to that, I'll just say 4 stars. And do stick around for the end through the credits, because you know how there's mid-credit sequences. There is an end-credit sequence, but on top of the regular end-credit sequence that's here, you know, like you would expect, a little video clip of something, there is an audio credit sequence too. And what I mean by that is there's a closing song over the opening or the closing credits called, I even wrote it down. It's called Mama's Love by the Baby Boys. And it's like this kind of country tune. And you could kind of ignore it as just like they got a cheap old country song written or made for this movie and they put it over the closing credits. But the end of the closing song also has a little section in it where it's actually addressing and talking to the audience members about what happened in the movie. So that was also a really fun little discovery. Once again, could be totally missed, but it's fun if you don't miss it. 4 stars. Quick spoilers. And they're going to start right now. Okay, quick spoilers for Dolly. I'm not going to give you away the whole plot of this movie, but I will just tell you there's a couple of things in this movie which I thought are moments where I think horror fans are going to be really excited and happy about. And if you have seen this movie, I'm going to see if your response and your reaction to it was similar to mine. Love to hear what you thought. But to me, there's a couple things. One is he's treating her like a baby early, or she, Dolly is treating Macy like a baby early on, and has got Macy on the table and is changing Macy. I know this sounds horrible if you're not in the movie. And there's the moment where trying to feed force feed Macy a bottle, which of course is gross and terrible. And you're like, and I forget how it happens exactly, but Macy knocks the bottle away or throws it away or whatever. Macy, get the bottle out of there. He does not want it. And then the frustrated Dolly is all up in arms. All the way through the movie, Dolly's like, like very upset and kind of having like a intense feelings. And then Dolly opens up their shirt and pulls out a giant breast and starts breastfeeding Macy. I know this sounds so sick to people who don't like horror movies. And when I was seeing that, I was like, oh my gosh, this movie just stepped it up. And that's the kind of moment that you want in a movie like this, just something ridiculous like that. And that was great. That was the moment where I think I started to turn on this movie and be like, okay, this movie not only knows what it's doing, but it's not afraid to just go and just be stupid, but also fun. And I know saying fun about this movie is terrible, because people who are not into horror movies will not find this fun. They will find it grueling and horrifying. The other big thing I want to bring up that I really appreciated in this movie, in the spoiler section, was Seann William Scott's character, what was it again? Chase, gets the shovel to his face, his jaw, like splits his mouth open and his jaw is like hanging off. And it looks a little fake, but it's also prosthetic, so I appreciate that. And they show that he's still alive early on, and he's dragging himself across the forest floor. And through the whole, I don't know, first 2/3 of this movie, or even 3/4 of this movie, I'm like, oh, they're just totally setting it up. So he's going to be the Deus Ex Machina. You know, he's going to be there when she tries to run out of the house and is being chased by Dolly, and he's going to trip Dolly, or he's going to come bursting through the window and save Macy at the last moment. They're really setting it up for that kind of a thing. And I was like, well, that's kind of lame, but I guess you got to do something to get Macy out of here. And then I was very, very pleasantly surprised when they do, of course, encounter him again. You know, Macy and Dolly end up out of the house, and they do encounter him again. He's still alive, and Dolly just murders him. He just kills him all the way. And I was like, what a great, like, you set up this big expectation. He's going to save the day. It's, it's Seann William Scott. He's the most, known actor in this production, and nope, he's dead. And he could have died right at the beginning, and that would have been fine. That would have had a similar effect. But having him try to make it there the whole way, his jaw's hanging off, he's in immense pain, and then he just gets killed again in the end. That was fantastic. Oh, once again, I did enjoy this movie quite a bit. It may even go up from 4 stars, but right now it's 4 stars. I might go to 4.5. I really, really like Dolly.